In this presentation, you will learn about symbolic interactionism. Towards the end of the 19th century, the social theorists concentrated on complexities of the individual's relationship to large-scale structures of society. Symbolic interactionism is a perspective that emphasizes the nature of interaction, the patterns of social action, and social relationship. Interaction is taken as a unit of analysis with individuals who not only react but perceive, interpret, and act. The individual has not only a mind but also self, which is a social process that emerges in the course of social experience and activity. The entire process of interaction is symbolic with the constructed meanings, the meanings of what we communicate with others, our definition of the social world, and our experience of and response to the reality evolve in the process of interaction. Herbert Blumer was one of the key figures of symbolic interactionism. In Europe, it was sociologist George Simmel who investigated social interaction that must exist among individuals in order that macro structures in society can exist at all. Symbolic interactionism was influenced by Weber's ideas on Verstehen. For Weber, the core issues of concern in sociology were intentional, meaningful, and symbolic social action. The first generation of American sociologists understood the phenomenon of large-scale social structures and processes such as class, the state, family, religion was linked to individual relationships. Herbert Blumer, who coined the term symbolic interactionism and one of the major architects of symbolic interactionism, writes, the term symbolic interaction refers, of course, to the peculiar and distinctive character of interaction as it takes place between human beings. The peculiarity consists in the fact that human beings interpret or define each other's actions instead of merely reacting to each other's actions. Thus, human interaction is mediated by the use of symbols, by interpretation, or by ascertaining the meaning of one another's actions. This mediation is equivalent to inserting a process of interpretation between the stimulus and the response in the case of human behavior. All varieties of symbolic interactionism share the view that human beings construct their realities in a process of interaction with other human beings. Symbolic interactionism is represented by the ideas of Herbert Blumer, Manfred Kahn, and Goffman. The most significant of the numerous thinkers contributing to the development of symbolic interactionism are Charles Horton Cooley and George Herbert Mead. Some symbolic interactionists have tried to enumerate the basic principles of the theory. The basic principles of symbolic interactionism are: human beings, unlike lower animals, have the ability to think. The ability to think is shaped by social interaction. In social interaction, people learn the meanings and the symbols that allow them to utilize their distinctively human capacity for thought. Meanings and symbols enable people to engage in distinctively human action and interaction. Some people are able to modify or alter the meanings and symbols that they employ in action and interaction based on their interpretation of the situation. People are able to make these changes and adaptations due to their ability to interact with themselves, which allows them to examine possible courses of action, assess their relative advantages and disadvantages, and ultimately choose one. The interconnected patterns of action and interaction make up groups and societies. The crucial assumption that human beings possess the ability to think differentiates symbolic interactionism from its behaviorist roots. The ability to think is embedded in the mind, but the symbolic interactionists have a somewhat unusual conception of the mind as originating in the socialization of consciousness. They distinguish it from the physiological brain. The mind, according to symbolic interactionists, is neither an object or a physical structure but a continuing process. It is a process that is itself part of the larger process of stimulus and response. The mind is related to virtually every other aspect of symbolic interactionism, including socialization, meanings, symbols, the self, interaction, and even society. Humans act in response to objects based on the meanings they attach to them. People's ability to think is shaped through the process of social interaction. People's meanings are formed through social interaction. Such a view leads the symbolic interactionist to concentrate on a specific form of social interaction, socialization. According to the symbolic interactionists, socialization is a dynamic process that enables people to improve, to think, and develop in distinctively human ways. Also, socialization is not just a one way process in which the actor receives information, but is dynamic in nature, whereby the actor shapes and adapts the information as per his or her own needs. Symbolic interactionists following Mead prefer to attribute causal significance to social interaction. People learn both symbols and meanings in social interaction. Symbolic interactionists' main concern is with the impact of meanings and symbols on human action and interaction. Meanings and symbols give human social action and social interaction distinctive characteristics. In the process of social interaction, people symbolically communicate meanings to the others involved. The others interpret those symbols and accordingly act on the basis of their interpretation. These meanings are modified and handled through an interpretative process that is used by each person in dealing with the things they encounter. I hope you now have a better understanding of symbolic interactionism. Thank you for watching the presentation. Do like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments about this presentation or any other topics you would like to learn more about.